Hello and welcome to Ben Ross's Conservatorium of Audio. I'm Ben Rosser and today we're going to be taking a look at equalizers. Equalizers are quite a handy group of effects and can provide some quite powerful control over the tonal shaping of your sounds and the ability to get them to sit in certain parts of a mix. There's also a few common mistakes that get made when using EQ. So today we're going to show you a few different techniques which might just help you to get a bit of a better result out of your EQing. So to start off with, we're going to grab a bit of a random loop to play with. We might actually grab this one as it sounds quite interesting. And for this sound, we're just going to use Ableton's standard EQ8 equalizer, which I tend to find is quite transparent for pretty much anything you throw through it. And if you don't want people to realize that something's actually been EQ'd, it can be quite a good one to use. So, for example, if we wanted this sound to be a bit more punchy and a bit more upfront, what we'd do is we'd go through our different bands in the EQ, finding where the main parts of the sound are and giving those a boost, and finding the bits of the sound we don't want and cutting those out. Some people do make a common mistake of using way too much boosting and very little cutting, but you'll generally find you get much better results if you do a lot more cutting than boosting. So, for example, if we just hit play on this sound, want to bring out some of that low end there, just sweeping up and down the band to find the bit that we're after. You should also try to be fairly subtle with your boosting as well. Generally 3 to 6 dB should be able to give you the results that you're after. And if you find that you're actually pushing the EQ even further than that, then chances are the problem's not with the EQing, the problem's with the sound you're trying to work with in the first place. So if we keep going with this sound, just bring out some of that top end there. And we'll take out some of that boxiness in the middle there. Just take out some of that airy stuff at the top end as well. And even though we've brought the volume of the overall sound down, you find if you bring up the output gain of the EQ now, or if we were to add a compressor, then you'll bring back the sound, but you'll bring it back in such a way that it actually sounds a lot cleaner and will fit a lot better in a mix. So for example, if we just bring the gain up on this one, you'll find if we bypass the EQ, what we had was a lot less punchy and a little bit too spacey and muddy to sit well. If we bring the EQ back in, one of the other things that you'll generally find works quite well is keeping your boosts fairly wide. For example, as you can see, we can use our Q control to narrow or widen up each of our bands. And keeping your boost wide and keeping your cuts narrow tends to be a good way to go, and will generally provide fairly good results without things starting to sound too unnatural. One of the other techniques that I like to use with EQ is not so much using the EQ for the process of EQing the sound, but more for the actual tone that you can get out of the EQ. For example, if we take this same sound that we've got and run it through a bit of a different EQ, for example, I might just grab hold of the Waves SSL channel strip, just chuck that onto our audio channel, like so. If we just hit play on that one, I do tend to find myself boosting quite a bit with this one, as it just sounds so nice, but again, it should be avoided if you can. So we're just going to bring out some more of that high end. Bring out some of the punch. Just bring out some of the lower frequencies. We'll just use a bell EQ instead of a low shelf. Making sure not to push it too far as to cause clipping in the plugging. And we'll just take out some of that muddiness. Take out some of that highs instead of boosting it as well, because there's something weird going on in the top end of this sound. We might even use one of our low pass filters just to help remove some of that. And again, if we just bypass that plugin, again, very lifeless, doesn't have much going for it. If we bring the EQ back in, automatically a lot more punchy and a lot more forward. So again, you can actually use EQ to control the front to back positioning of different instruments and sounds in a mix, along with adjusting your volume and various other tricks including reverbs. So they can be quite powerful for many different techniques and for many different things that you're trying to do with a sound. So try out a few different EQs, see what different ones in your library are capable of, whether they're more of a tonal EQ or more of a transparent EQ, and have a bit of a play with all of your different audio that you've got sitting around and see what you can get happening. So I hope to see you again in another Ben Ross's Conservatorium of Audio tutorial. Thanks for watching.